Political Bomb Show, starring Rayshawn Blyden. Welcome to Political Bomb Show. I'm your host, Rayshawn Blyden. If you'd like to participate, give us a call at 858-233-9337, or you can visit our website, politicalbombshow.org. So, let me start out by saying that I'm very, very, very excited about some stories that's in my stack today. Very excited. But there's still lots of work to be done. We have to completely dismantle healthcare. So, this is something that really, really, really bothers me. And it bothers me on a personal level because I own an Android phone. And not only do I own an Android phone, but the story that they're talking about here, I own a HTC Android phone. So I wasn't really happy to read this story at all. Not happy to read this story. Government increasingly getting your private info from the internet companies. Now, this shouldn't be a shocker to anyone. You may know your private information is being collected by sites like Facebook, Twitter, Google, and more. Often, you're getting a license to collect it. They're getting a license to collect it. And, but what you may not know is that this information, which has really only become available and easy to obtain by the government in the last couple decades, is being requested in more and more and more. And when sites are asked for information from the government or law enforcement, the routers reports that they essentially have no choice but to bend over, grab the ankle, and take it up the poop chute. Last week, The Blaze, that's a good source to get your stories from. They report the truth, theblaze.com. But anyway, The Blaze reported Facebook, Twitter, and Google are in the midst of figuring out how to, to change their policies regarding using user information and protecting the freedom of speech. So I hope they figure it out soon enough. Although Google, well, I'll hold my personal feeling aside for them. While the routers recently interviewed a web expert detailing the very reason sites like these are developing standards for how and when they'll share information. So, the chief internet evangelist Vendger, he's the Google's chief internet evangelist. So he told Reuters in the interview that the issue would be, what's the right policy? The right policy is to tell the government to go to hell. That's the right policy. Tell them, go to hell. GFY. Alright. This is the one that I was talking about because I own a HTC phone. And I like my HTC phone, but I was disturbed by this story here. Video shows how HTC Android phones leak private info left and right. This angered me because I own an Evo. HTC Evo's 3D and HTC Evo 4G, which I have, and Thunderbolt Android phones are apparently at risk for leaking your private information. Why? Well, the report on Android Police said that it's because HTC set their snooping environment up way high. So according to the Android Police, any app that comes, any act that connects to the internet or shows an ad can access your user account, like email addresses, the GPS location, and previous location history. Phone numbers too. All I could do is shake my head on this. And obviously could access all the private information. This should outrage everyone. But what do you expect? Google equal Android equal government equal losing your liberty and freedom and privacy. I don't even want to read any more of this story. It's just disgusting. Now, this is another thing that's really irritating me. You people just don't understand that this Occupy protests and activists, they're nothing more than part of the plan to execute New World Order. What you need to understand is Obama knows, and all his other supporters, or the ones pulling his strings, know he's not going to win fairly. So what can he do to stay in office? Well, there's one big thing he can do to stay in office. If he creates enough civil unrest, there won't be need for an election, because he will declare martial law, and therefore he will stay in office. That's what this Occupy protest is all about, in my opinion. But let me read a few Occupy stories here. Occupy protest spreads worldwide. Demonstrations planned in 82 countries. 82 countries. Plans of the day. This global protest kicks off Saturday with Occupy Wall Street style demonstration in cities like Europe, Asia, and Australia. And as we know, it's spread over here too, to the United States. The United for Global Change. Now, when I hear stuff like that, the Unite for Global Change, this is what comes to mind to me. This is a very old movie, but there's a point to me telling this story, so hang in there, folks. Have you ever seen the movie Demolition Man? Well, I believe Sylvester Stallone played the part of the cop, John Spartakin. I'm not sure what the criminal, his name was, but I know he was played by Wesley Snipes. I can't think of his name right now. But anyway, the premise of this story was this organization, we'll call them the government pretty much. They wanted to create a utopia world free of crime, free of diseases. They wanted to play God, basically. And there was a group that lived underground. I forgot the name of the groups, but they, in today's world, they'd be considered the Tea Party activists. They fought against the big government, and they did not want to conform to the government telling them they can't have sex traditionally, they can't kiss like traditional kisses. They have to lie down in some utopia booth, and you can't touch each other for sex. Who've ever heard of having sex without touching each other? But they've stopped you from eating salt and sugar and so on. That's how they were. They didn't want you to do certain things. So what do the government do when they see that the opposition was getting greater and stronger? Well, that criminal, like I spoke of, heinous criminal, and also the police officer, John Spartan, they were, this was in the year 20 whatever it was, and their system was to keep you locked up in some type of a what would you call it, like some type of frozen state. I'm not exactly sure what it was, but they unfroze the criminal and they gave him all sorts of evil powers so he can go and defeat and kill his opposition. So the police released the John Spartakin character, and I could remember what I remember what he said. He said to catch a maniac criminal, you have to be a maniac. And that's pretty much what we have to do in this day. In this day and age, there's a radical left. So I put it, if you looked at my politicalbombshell.org, my slogan is, to defeat a radical left, you must be a radical right. That's the only way you'll defeat them. The only way you'll defeat them. You have to be a radical right to defeat a radical left. Anyway, I continue with the story here. United of global change, the movement behind the push for international protests, projected 951 cities in 82 countries, and they would be taken over in rallies worldwide, including cities like England, France, Belgium, Ireland, Kenya, Mexico, Russia, South Africa, and Venezuela. In London, hundreds of protesters gathered in the city's financial district, and so forth. We just know that they need chaos to create this new world order. Now, here's something that's interesting. You know that stupid, idiotic Obama sign that says hope, and it's got like some type of a art picture of his a profile shot or whatever? Well, interesting story here. The artist behind the famed Obama Hope poster designs a party invitation for the Occupy Wall Street. I'm not surprised by that. Everyone knows George Soros is behind Obama, therefore, and George Soros is also behind this Occupy Wall Street, at least in the United States. He may be elsewhere too. Well, the same street artist who designed the now famed Obama Hope poster, which I could wipe that poster with my ass, poster in Soviet era propaganda style, has just released his latest piece, Shepherd Fairies, that name. Where was I? Most recently creation is an invitation to the Occupy Party. The subject bears a striking resemblance to the Black Panther and Communist Party activist Angela Davis. It's probably because that's where they got their inspiration. As far as the party itself, the festivals are set to kick off Saturday evening, October 15th, in Times Square. Someone dropped the... Okay, I won't even say that, never mind. The invitation intended for the awake and inspired reads. I don't even think I want to read this thing. I'm not going to even read it, because my take on this protest, like I said, the activists from the Occupy Wall Street movement is just repeatedly... Oh, let me talk about this story here. My take on the Occupy protest is this. Obama and his cronies know he cannot win this election, so if they could create civil unrest, he could declare martial law and stay in power. Plain and simple. Now, Martin Bashir, he has a show on, I think it's MSNBC. He had a guest on there, and she said if Cain could become the color of water, he would do it. What the hell does she mean by that? A day wouldn't, this is a story. A day wouldn't be complete without the left-wing member of the African American community or media attacking GOP presidential contender Herman Cain on his blackness. But anyway, let me continue the story. In this instance, MSNBC host Martin Bashir brought the Grio.com columnist Goldie Taylor the Bitch on Friday programmed to again criticize Cain for suggesting racism is no longer a factor holding African Americans back from attaining their success in America, which he's absolutely right. I mean, no matter what happens, you're gonna cry racism. You have a black president, you have black governors, black mayors, and so on, many black powerful leaders, and you still cry racism. But let me finish the story here, because I'm just irritated. I'm sick and to death of these so-called idiot leaders, black leaders, just pushing the envelope on racism. You have sheep following them. Anyway, so Taylor the Bitch asserted that if he, meaning Cain, could become what I would call the color of water, he would do it. You've got to wonder which country Herman Cain is living in. No, I wonder what country you're living in, you stupid liberal bitch. Taylor the Bitch, who believes Cain is trying to cater and gain support of white Republicans, racists. I don't even want to read any more of this, because in plain English, if you're not a black Marxist, someone who's like a reverend, he's not even a reverend, I'm not even going to call him a reverend actually, like an Al Sharpton type, or Barack Obama, or Jeremiah Wright type, then you're racist. Get out of here. I don't even want to listen to you anymore. You disgust me. People like you disgust me. Move on to another story, because I can feel my blood pressure rising. Ed Schultz from MSNBC. Cain is pandering to white Republicans who don't like black folks. MSNBC Schultz. I don't think I need to say any more on that. He's from MSNBC. Do I really have to explain what this is all about? He goes, he believes that GOP presidential hopeful Herman Cain is pandering to white Republicans out there who don't like black folks, and accuses Senator Jim DeMint, a potential VP pick for Cain, of using racist language in his opposition to Obamacare. The racist language is in the question. The word break. That's right, break. Break is apparently a racist term to Schultz and his guests. It's just laughable. It's just freaking laughable. Laughable, laughable, laughable. I mean, they will do anything to stay in power, including just demolish their own race. Like I said, the race game is lucrative, and they don't want to lose that money. So they'll do anything to fight, you know, a good man like Herman Cain. Read another Cain story here. Cain charges some in black community of racism. 2 thumbs up on that. I certainly agree on that. Certainly agree on that. I mean, I inserted myself in a liberal democratic black online community called Black in America, and they certainly display a lot of the characteristics Herman Cain is talking about here. In fact, they banned me because of my views, so I created another profile. But anyway, CNN, GOP presidential hopeful candidate Herman Cain said Tuesday that mainly liberal Democrats and black communities are racist for questioning him in his political ambitions and black conservative Republicans. So He's definitely right on that. I get questioned all the time about my so-called blackness, but there's not many people strong like us out there. You see, as far as the black community goes, if you are not strong enough to stand up for yourself and you are afraid to stand up for your views, and so you just go with the flow and you're a sheep and a follower, you still, you're going to answer for that. Sooner or later, you're going to answer for that. I'm not going to back down from anyone. I could be in a sea of liberals, whether you're black, white, yellow, or pink, I could care less. My views won't change. It's just like I was at the college the other day. I apologize, I can't remember the college. I know it's a Massachusetts college. I was getting some money from the ATM, and I happened to look up on the wall and could not believe the sign that I saw there. It said, love, how could I put, let me see if I remember this. Love is for heterosexuals, sex is for homosexual, it's about time, we're here to stay, or something like that. I was like, I just said it out loud. There was a group of college students sitting around the desk, the tables and everything, eating their food, playing Dungeons and Dragons or whatever. I said, what the hell is this? This has got to be the most liberal college I think I've ever seen. I saw one of the guys staring at me, looking at me like he couldn't believe I was saying that out loud. I don't hide from anyone. I would not hide my views from anyone. That's pathetic. I wanted to rip it down is what I wanted to do, really. I really wanted to rip that sign down. But obviously freedom of speech, and I believe in all that too. I'm not going to be a hypocrite and rip it down, but I really wanted to rip it down. Anyway, here's another interesting story here on Solyndra. Now, I'm definitely not surprised by this story. It says here on Solyndra, President Obama's BlackBerry is off limits. Of course it's off limits. You think he wants you guys to know what he was actually his deals with Solyndra and what they were telling him or what's not? Of course not. They're gonna hide that. Congress isn't getting a glimpse of what's on the president's phone or any of the internal White House communication related to the Solyndra. The bankrupt solar company Solyndra, which received $535 million in loans guaranteed from the federal government. So, House Republicans investigating the loan controversy had requested all internal White House documents about the issue. House Energy and Commerce Subcommittee Chair Rep. Cliff Stearns said that includes emails on the president's BlackBerry. They're not going to give that up, like I said. Why would they do that? That'd be incriminating themselves. They're not going to do that. It's just like Michael Savage said on his show. Obama, is he the Putin of America? Of course he's the Putin of America. Michael goes on to say, vermins on Wall Street, we found out that the original seed money for the communist Occupy Wall Street movement was from George Soros, the most evil man on earth. Oh boy, yes he is. A man with the designs to run the world, a man with more power than most sovereign nations, a man with more wealth than most sovereign nations, for whom no amount of money or power will ever be enough. It's true. It's true. A total, absolute, he's pathetic, pretty much. He's a Dr. Evil incarnated. That's an understatement. But anyway, if you want to read that full story, you can go to michaelsavage.com and read that story. He's absolutely right on that. Now here's something that really angered me here. A teacher from NMU, Northern Michigan University. She's a sociology professor. Her name is Janine M. Lorenzen. Look her up on Facebook. I saw her page. I tried to send her a message, but she's not accepting messages. I wonder why. So I sent my comments to the school directly and told them that they should suspend this lady at the very least. But listen to the story here. What she's done is offered her students extra credit for taking part in the local Occupy protest. I mean, I'm outraged by this professor, I really am. I mean, the liberalism throughout colleges are just unreal. This teacher should be definitely suspended without pay. That's just my opinion, suspended without pay. Because as a teacher, you should not be biased. As a teacher, you should let the student come draw their own conclusion. You just teach them, but let them draw their own conclusion. So that's all I have to say about that witch. Obama administration dumps major provision of health care law. Now, there's a ray of sunshine. Obama administration dumps major provision of health care law. Washington AP reports that Obama administration signature health overhaul law under relentless assault from the Republicans, Bravo, has suffered its first major casualty, a long-term care insurance plan. Basically, they're saying that the program, expected to launch in 2012, has been dogged from the beginning as far as the financial sovereignty of it. And sovereign, it's true. It's not viable. It's gonna bankrupt us. So, bravo on that. I am so happy that finally something has there's some ray of sunshine out there. The White House Chief of Staff, certain members of the media carry the water for the GOP. This man, are you serious? Can someone say CNN, MSNBC, CBS, you name it? They've been carrying the water for this jackass of a president since he was out there. So you, sir, are a damn hypocrite. Talking about White House Chief of Staff Bill Daley. Why don't you lick my dirty balls, Daley? He said that there's members of the media who do carry the water for certain political parties, but for the Republicans, not the Democrats. In an interview with CNBC, so they're one of the ones, CNBC, they're one of the ones that carries the water for Obama. So like I said, lick my dirty balls on that. How about you do that? Carry that, sucker. In an interview, he said that on Friday that he didn't name any particular network, but we all know what he was trying to say. We definitely all know what he was trying to say. We knew that he meant Fox News. But anyway, he's an idiot. And all the other networks are carrying the water for Obama, and he has the nerve to talk about Fox News. Move on. Al-Awlaki's son reportedly among Al-Qaeda militants killed in a U.S. drone strike. SANAA in Yemen AP reports an American drone strike in southern Yemen has killed 7 Al-Qaeda-linked militants, including the media chief for the group's Yemeni branch and the son of the prominent U.S.-born cleric slain in a similar attack last month. Government officials and tribal elders said on Saturday. Can I tell you what this is all about, going to war? Michael Savage said it best in his show. There's nothing like a good war to make a president ratings go up. He's trying to secure the trip to the White House in 2012. Because he's right on that, Michael Savage. Nothing like a good old war, killing all the enemies, to make your ratings and likability go up. He's not a stupid man. They know what they're doing. I hope that you're not fooled by this. Obama deploys 100 U.S. combat troops to Africa, to aid Africa. So he's throwing wars left and right. No one on the left says anything, but if it was a Republican, everyone would be up in arms. Washington reports, the Blaze and AP, President Obama said Friday he's dispatching roughly 100 U.S. troops to Central Africa to help the Battle of the Lord's Resistance Army, which the administration accuses of a campaign of murder, rape, and kidnapping children that spans 2 decades. So, obviously I'm not advocating what the bad things that they've been doing, but this is all political. All political. This next story will probably disturb a lot of women out there. A study shows misdiagnosed miscarriages resulting in unintentional abortions. That's sickening. The characteristics that define an early stage of miscarriages varies, and the doctors and ultrasound equipment could be misdiagnosing the miscarriages, resulting in inadvertent termination of pregnancy. So there you go. They're killing babies left and right, and they're wrong about it. A recent study published in Ultrasound and blah 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 found that 200 diagnosed miscarriages will result in a woman taking a pill or having surgery to remove the fetus. Here's something that angers me. This bilingual thing on having bilingual signs everywhere is just gone too far. Listen to this. Federal government orders bilingual electoral ballots in 25 states. How many people want to guess that these 25 states are where a lot of illegal immigrants are? Washington, the Blaze and AP reports, in the run-up to the 2012 election, the federal government is ordering that 248 countries and other political jurisdictions provide bilingual ballots to Hispanics and other minorities who speak a little or no English. Well, if you're going to come to America, you should at least know enough English to vote. That number is down from a decade ago following the 2000 census, which covered 296 countries in 30 states. So, I don't know. I just think that it's just another way of trying to steal the election. Rush Limbaugh slams Romney. He's not a conservative. Well, we know he's not a conservative. We already know that. Just days after Mitt Romney picked up a key endorsement from Chris Christie. Now, there's something in itself that's interesting. Chris Christie endorsing Mitt Romney. I have to do a little bit more research on Chris Christie to find out if he's moderate. He's not acting like a conservative. But let me go on. He picked up an endorsement from Chris Christie, and he is now having to deal with the fact that he's lost the support of another prominent conservative, Rush Limbaugh. On Rush's radio show Thursday, Rush blasted the former Massachusetts governor by questioning his conservatism. He's not conservative, everyone knows that. I mean, how could you be conservative and mandate that everyone gets health care in your state? Romney is not a conservative, Rush said. He's not, folks. You can argue with me all day long on that, but he isn't. What he has going for him is that he's not Obama. And I said that before too. You could probably take a 12-year-old and they could beat Obama if it was 2012 today. So he said he's a very nice gentleman. He said he's a gentleman, but he's not conservative. I agree with that. Now, let me read something from Al Sharpton. Now, like I said earlier, I'm not going to call him a reverend. He really isn't a reverend. I'm not even sure how he picked up that name. He's not a reverend. He's a thug. He shakes people down to get money and cash. And sheep followers follow him. But he goes, "We cannot sleep through the revolution." Al Sharpton tells black community to join the revolution because those kids on Wall Street are right about redistribution of wealth. Give me a break. Give me a break. Give me a break. I don't even want to talk about that story. I'm so tired and disgusted right now. Don't listen to that idiot. Don't listen to that idiot. Do not join the vermins on Wall Street. You stand up for things that's right and things that you believe in. You don't stand up because this idiot says that they're right. Do you believe they're right? You know in their heart they're not right. So don't do it. Plain and simple. U.S. court. Alabama can detain suspects illegal alien. That's good. Atlanta AP. A federal appeal court issued a ruling Friday that temporarily blocks part of the Alabama law requiring schools to check the immigration status of students, but lets stand the provision that allows the police to detain illegal aliens. The 11th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals issued the order after the Justice Department challenged what is considered the toughest immigration law in the nation. We all should have that law. We should. I'm sick to death of all these illegal aliens. I am. Sick to death of them. Final decision on the law won't be made for months to allow time for arguments. What's to argue about? They're not American citizens. They're illegal. What do you do with something that's illegal? Get rid of it. Plain and simple. Till next time, visit politicalbombshell.org or give me a call at 858-233-9337.
Political corruption kills the nation. A new sheriff coming to town. No politician is allowed. They're all too corrupted. Political bomb, so come on people, let's go. Political bomb, so come on people, let's go.